who stay in their pain, thinking the more they cry, God will be, without them asking, God will be moved to change their circumstances. You see, God is not moved by your sorrowful face. And the tears do not move God if the tears are not coming from the word. So God is not moved by your emotions. God is moved by his word. So that's why faith means trusting what God has said. So faith simply means putting our trust in the trustworthiness of God. Now, what about God do we trust? We trust his word, because the word of God reveals his nature, his character. So there's lots of people that think that when you put on a sad face and you shed some tears, God will move. You will cry a basin full of tears, or a bucket full of tears, without God having moved an inch. What moves God is his word. So now, that being said, it's important that when you pray, you engage the word. You speak the word. Whatever you do, do it with understanding. That's why you can find somebody feeling sick, but instead, you see, instead of exercising their faith in the word, because remember 2 Corinthians 4:13, it says, since we have the same spirit of faith, we see that faith and spirit are connected. Spirit of faith. So faith is a spirit that is actually wrapped up in the word, because remember, spirits are words. Spirits are words. Now, since we have the same spirit of faith, and remember, spirits are words. And you say, where is that? John 6:63. The flesh profits nothing, Jesus says. It profits you nothing. It is the spirit it is the spirit that gives life. And it goes on to say, and the words that I have spoken to you, they are spirit and they are life. The words I speak to you are spirit and life. And since we have the same spirit of faith, so the spirit of faith is the word of God, because the words are spirits. So when you sit down here, according to what, that's why they said, since we have the same spirit of faith, according to what is written, as they believed. Believing what? You believe what is written. As they believed, so they spoke. So you must believe what is written. So for you to believe something, you understand, to obey it. When you understand something, it unlocks your ability to believe it, to agree with it, to, belief is adherence, is trusting, is reliance. So you see, that's part of faith. Now you see, if you understand that, then according to what, as they believed, so they spoke. So as you believe, you start to speak. So that's why it's important. That's why prayer is very, 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 very easy, because a prayer is believing what is speaking what I believe. Now, if you don't have what is written, so you don't know what to believe, and then you have nothing to say. And that's why you find people say, how can you pray for 8 hours or 12 hours? Because you are full of the word. You know what God is saying to you. So if you have an issue, consult what is written, because the spirit of faith is captured within, is wrapped up, is captured within what is written, and also is released. The spirit of faith is captured or contained. That's what I was looking for. The spirit of faith is contained in what is written, and yet is released in what is spoken. That's beautiful. Mr. Vincent, if you can write that for me, please. The spirit of the spirit of faith is contained in what is written, but is released in what is spoken for the manifestation to occur. Now you find a lot of people sitting somewhere, hoping things will happen, hoping something will change. Things don't change because you are assuming or hoping they will change. You speak them into the spirit of faith, speaks, and then you start to act in agreement with what you speak. If you see, you must act on what you believe. Now, in warfare, what the devil does is you go through a lot of frustration after frustration, and then you start to convince yourself that nothing is working for me. Even when I attempt, things will not work. Now that becomes a stronghold. You begin even to think, actually, because of my life, and things never work for me. If I go to work for somebody else, what hinders me will hinder them. Nothing hinders you. First of all, that's wrong faith to think or believe that you are hindered. To think, because you see, faith is not by sight. We walk not by sight, we walk by what is written. We walk not by sight, but by what we believe. What we believe is written. We don't walk by what we feel, what we see. We walk by what God says in his word. So that's why you will go again to the same place where you were denied, and you still go back and then pray and ask the same thing again. And you go and apply for the same, you apply the same application, you put in the same application again. Why? Because you believe, according to what is written, all things are yours. And you refuse to take no for an answer, period. So now, I am an heir of God through Christ. That means you're not there in a begging position. You're not there to beg. A child of God, you need to understand that I am an heir of God. That's very powerful. And the enemy, when you don't understand that, Satan enjoys that, because you will not wield the true power that is in your identity as a child of God. Satan is so much afraid of a believer, because being a child of God is this. It means that everything that the Father has is at your proposal. Angels are waiting your command, because they're there to serve you. All creation belongs to my Father. So creation, as a son, when I speak, because I am an heir. Look what we have said. An heir is a person legally entitled to another person's property. So you are legally entitled to the... Listen to me what I'm about to say. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And who are you? The Son of God. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof, the world and they who dwell in it. Now, if it belongs to the Lord and the people belong to the Lord, now you are a child of God. Those who are not born again, they all belong to you. That's why even those who are born again, they also belong to you as you belong to them. That's why Paul tells the Corinthians, you should not boast about men. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3 from verse 21, it says, you should not boast about men. That I belong to Paul, I belong to Cephas or Apollos. All things are yours. Whether Apollos, whether Cephas, all things are yours. So he was saying to you, Cephas is yours, Peter is yours, Apollos is yours, Paul is yours, the life is yours, death is yours. Now you can see, because why? An heir is a person legally entitled to another person's property. What does that mean? The day you became born again, you were given legal entitlement to the earth. This earth we have legal, but we approach it as if we are begging. And that's the understanding I wish I commanded when 20 years ago when I came to faith. That would have helped me in a prayer, in approaching to things. But now, you see, the days of ignorance are past. We cannot live there. But now our God can. You see, wisdom, revelation is what brings restoration. And restoration, God can quicken and restore whatever you've lost in 20 years in a moment by reason of revelation.